I found my wife's secret Google account and I'm sick to my stomach.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You need a whole secret Google account?
Yeah, you can fit 2 terabytes in the free ones.
I know.
Or is it 1 terabyte? I'm actually not sure. But yeah. Well, let's see what's on this secret Google account. So I, 36 male, met my wife, Bailey, 33 female, 9 years ago through mutual coworkers, and we hit it off immediately. I fell absolutely head over heels for this woman. She was everything I was looking for. I had just gotten out of a toxic, dare I say, abusive long-term relationship right before that with a woman Bailey had been acquaintance with, but not friends with. I had her blocked on everything and had no contact with her since breaking up. We got married right after the tail end of the pandemic, bought our first house together, and started to try and conceive. This was very difficult because Bailey has PCOS, but last year she finally gave birth to our first daughter. I'm not sure what PCOS means, but...
it's like ovarian cysts.
Ah, okay.
It makes it difficult on the hormones are all troubled.
Imbalanced?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm having a blast being a dad. It's kind of a dream come true. I finally got my happy life with my perfect wife. My perfect wife until last Monday, that is. My laptop's battery shit the bed. So I opened up Bailey's work tablet.
It's always a tablet. It's either an iPad or something.
It always is. Yeah, that is weird.
Always be getting caught with that shit, man.
So I opened up Bailey's work tablet with an attached keyboard. You can set it up like a monitor to check on some tax stuff. She wasn't home. It was just me and the baby. But we've never asked permission to use each other's devices. We've always just been open like that. There's been nothing for us to hide. Or at least that's what I thought. When I opened up the internet, I noticed she had incognito tabs open. Never in a million years did I expect to discover what I did. Also, why do you leave incognito tabs open?
Hey, don't judge.
I do it for like flights and stuff.
Oh, yeah. But like, I usually close them after I'm done.
Mine is like on permanent private.
Whoa.
That's wild. I guess it's
just
probably
fapping
better.
that much that
You know the vibe.
he has to click extra steps to get to regular browser.
Yeah. You know the vibes.
I gotta fill the hours in the day somehow now.
Jesus.
5 times. Those are rookie numbers now.
We're not in Kansas anymore, Sean.
Yeah, I got shit to do here. I'm good.
So my wife has a secret Google account with a photo album saved called XX. So I clicked on it. Did I discover an affair? Nudes? Nope. In this Google album were over 300 photos, 348 actually, of my ex. The woman I was with right before I met Bailey. The woman who tormented me and made me feel worthless. So 348 photos of his own ex.
Of the ex?
Is your wife about to go like John Wick and fucking murder the shit out of your ex?
Oh, it's...
Is she gonna do some revenge porn on the ex?
Mean, the craziest part, it's been 9 years. You know what I mean?
And how did you get these photos?
Oh,
man.
Took them. We got a lot to get to. There's a lot in this one. The album said it was started back right around the time Bailey and I started dating. And was updated as recently as 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Don't tell me Bailey was the ex.
Oh, that would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
With facial reconstruction.
Holy shit. The photos range from candid shots with family to pictures at her work functions. There were even pictures of her yearbook.
Yo.
I don't know how Bailey could have found her high school yearbook photos. Photos from vacations, ID photos from work, pictures of her in crowds, screenshots of videos, and screen recordings of videos. Just her.
Crowds? Is she blending in Assassin's Creed style, getting pictures of the fucking ex?
I don't know, dude. The other people in the photos would be scribbled out, or the photos would be cropped and zoomed in just on my ex.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bailey's crazy, bro. Holy shit.
There were other disturbing things I found there too. There was another album with just zoomed out pictures of my ex's hair. And come to think of it, Bailey has recently started wearing her hair different and my ex had a very identifiable hair type. There was another album with screenshots of comments on social media. Of course, I can't find them because I have her blocked. Like Facebook groups she's in and public posts. And my ex is very low-key on social media. I can't imagine the lengths Bailey went to find them. My ex literally lives in another country right now. There were also different links to the exact outfits she was wearing, like very specific blouses and trousers you'd have to really go looking for, a specific water bottle I remember her purchasing, and identical hiking boots and sandals.
Awala, sponsor us.
That would be sick. So basically, my partner of almost a decade has been single white femaling, which I believe is a stalker movie, an old one. My ex-girlfriend has secretly stalked her to the point of buying her exact clothes and changing her hair. And now I'm starting to realize Bailey's new interests over the years were just my ex's. Bailey has turned herself into my ex. Everything feels like a lie. Our love feels like a lie. The things we share feel like a lie. I threw up and had a panic attack. I looked at our daughter and felt betrayed. I haven't confronted her yet. I don't know if I want to. I want to run away with my daughter. I want to print out all of her pictures and leave them on the table and disappear. I just don't know what to do. I want to throw up. So that's the original post. Initial thoughts.
Run.
She'll find you though. So like really though, like not even just a joke. I would be too scared.
I know it's not.
I would be too scared to run actually. Cause I'm like my ex from 9 years ago that lives in a different country. You have recent photos of?
Yeah. Up until 2 weeks ago.
I guess she could just be taking all of these from social media. I would hope.
I mean, the work ones would be, I don't know how you did the work ones, like the work ID and stuff like that.
The work ID is wild.
Yearbook is crazy.
The pictures through the crowd is wild.
Yearbook
Pictures are wild.
I don't know.
What the hell? Like, has she been following the husband since?
I wonder if she's actually obsessed with the ex and then it's just with the husband because the ex dated the husband. And they just want to recreate that life.
Oh, I see. Well,
you know what I mean?
This didn't start until they started dating, right? The album. So
they said it right around the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe, but I don't know if it would quite make sense.
Yeah. Maybe your ex is just very fashionable and
I ain't giving her no goddamn benefit of the doubt, bro. There's like a drive of that shit. Look in her eyes like, hey, I barely know who you are.
I don't think that should be done either.
Man.
That was not a good one.
Whatever.
Yeah. All right. So some relevant comments. Also, I think Sean was joking about the fashion thing. So before anyone comes at him, because
yeah, I was. Yeah. You know how I am, guys. I like to try and find what is the logic? Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes there isn't a logic.
There isn't a lot of logic in most of these, but
yeah,
I try.
Shami says, holy cow, this is definitely alarming. The best thing to do is address it now to see what'll change if she no longer has someone to replicate.
I would say get the kid out of there first before you.
Yes.
Maybe at your parents.
For sure.
Or something like that.
The toxic side of me would slowly start mentioning things like, you remind me of someone, and nonchalantly bite into an apple and walk away. OP responded to that and said, I feel like what's worse is that she has subtly made these changes over time under my nose. So my ex has a specific career, and Bailey didn't express interest in switching careers to the exact same thing until after I had mentioned what my ex did. I didn't notice it at the time, but I remember telling her my ex went to school for this. The hair was much more recent. The outfits and objects were slowly over time. The interests, I'm not sure how much she's stolen personality-wise from my ex and what she actually likes. It's incredibly exhausting and confusing.
I wonder if she's like a spy and she has to
Double
blend
agent.
in with community.
Yeah.
I'm not.
She's just a crazy person.
She's probably just insane, actually.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, what is going on? That's a
Ugh.
lot of
Insecure.
work.
Yeah.
For what? You already got the guy. You got the family.
Yeah, you're winning.
I wonder if like she slowly started integrating things whenever they started dating, and she was like, "Oh, things are going well since I started doing this. I must continue doing." It's crazy.
Like
it's
a
insane.
Social experiment.
Yeah,
this whole
I don't know
time?
what the fuck is going on.
At year 10, they're going to be like pointing at cameras to be like, you've been on this show for 10 years.
Fucking
Gosh.
Truman Show.
Yeah. Final relevant comment from OP. They said, while I talked about my ex, most of the things I told my wife were negative and painted her in not such a good light.
Yeah.
My wife knows these things and knows they were traumatic. Of course, I've mentioned things like what she does for a living and things she used to do. I think everything else she found through intense cyber stalking, through my ex's friends and family.
Goodness.
The yearbook photos, I have no idea. So he mentions his ex. There is a comment later on that pisses me off, but we'll get to the update first. All right, so the update, like I said, it was in July. It was actually on July 7th, so fairly recently.
Mm-hmm.
The next day when I had calmed down, I called several social workers and therapists. I was planning to confront her there. Unfortunately, the only place that takes our insurance did not have an opening for another couple weeks. So, despite what a lot of you think, I've known my wife for nearly a decade, and even while I was confused and upset and doubting things, I didn't think she'd be a danger to me. We took the baby to my to grandma's and asked it to go for a walk.
Thank God.
So, there you go, Sean.
That's a good plan.
call. I did not beat around the bush and straight up told her I found the folder. Her face got very red and she was frozen, but tried to play dumb at first. I was persistent and she started crying and begging me not to leave her. This is what I uncovered. Bailey started looking up my ex out of curiosity, to keep tabs, I guess. But over time, it became more pathological. It's like she got addicted to it, but she also wanted to please me. Okay, so maybe I talked about my ex a lot more than I thought, and Bailey wanted to emulate the good parts. She told me she doesn't really know who she is, and my ex's image was something she latched onto because she had me first. Finding information about her became a game. Finding the clothes and objects became a game by searching things like blue water bottle, green stripes, until she compared the product to the photo and found the exact one. The reason why I couldn't find the post wasn't because I had blocked my ex, but because my ex had made a new Facebook account under a different name. Bailey found her profile by searching up family members. She made a fake social media and added enough mutual friends until she could see my ex's post and until her private Instagram accepted her. She weaseled her way into exercise Facebook groups where the videos were posted and searched her school on a yearbook website to find the yearbook pictures.
There's a yearbook website?
I had never heard of that.
That makes me worried.
Sounds like someone's going to find my yearbook picture.
I mean, they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck is it?" Yeah, I ain't gonna recognize.
Why does
Who
that
the
guy
fuck
have a
is so much
mullet?
skinnier back then?
Over time, she just collected the images and would get excited to find something new, despite the fact that my ex is extremely private on social media. The folder had originally been called Hex the Ex. In case I discovered it, she was going to make the excuse of saving pictures to put a hex on her, which is insane as well.
That's the plan. That's the grand plan.
When she made a burner Google account, she deleted the old folder and named the new one XX. Then she got sloppy and comfortable, and that's right around the time I had just happened to open the work tablet. We took a break. It was a while. We made it to couple counseling, and Bailey and I also sought separate therapists. She still has not had an assessment with a psychiatrist. Oh my God, what did I say? The fuck? But it's on the list. She promised to stop and delete the album in front of me. Slowly, certain clothing items began to disappear from the closet. I still do not entirely trust her, and that's for me to work on. I'm afraid she has another secret account somewhere like a backup. The physical mimicking is actually stopping, including the hair change. We're still not okay. I want us to be okay, and it's okay if that takes time. If we end up not being okay, then that's something I have to deal with. What I know is that my wife is incredibly insecure, probably mentally ill, and is misled. I don't want to walk away from that. Although this probably isn't the most exciting update, I appreciate the private messages I just couldn't get back to. I'm not sure how I feel about social media, YouTube and TikTok picking up on my story, though. That's why.
Sorry.
we won't post this one on TikTok. Until next time, if I ever give it another update, I hope it's a good one. And that's the update.
I wasn't too far off being like, what she was doing. She thought it was making him like her more.
Yeah.
Which is kind of generally what I was saying. But it is, the things are stopping. That's all you could ask for. I think it's really admirable that he's staying in, but I'm like, to both of them, I hope they don't feel obligated to stick with each other. Because it sounds like he needs to get a lot of trust, and then she needs to kind of like find herself. And at the end of that, if they find out that they are no longer compatible, because kind of like the last decade has been,
a lie,
more or less a lie, a personality that's not really hers. That's okay to, separate. I just hope they don't feel locked in.
Yeah, that's probably my thing too. Like, I think the foundation of the relationship is just built on a lie and built on something fabricated. Again, to Sean's point, I do admire that he's willing to put in the work for it. But on a personal level, when the trust is gone, the relationship's over. Because like you kind of fear, like, hey, there's always going to be that thing in the back of your head. It's just like, okay, what if they're doing it again? Like, am I being social engineered now? Like, there's always that paranoia in your head, right? And I'm a firm believer of something that's like, hey, if you have like issues, work on it. And sometimes you got to work on them yourselves. And if she really does have some like insecurity issues, putting that much pressure on someone on that relationship, like, again, that foundation of like the relationship being a lie to begin with, I get it. There's some people who has those type of issues, but personally, I don't think I could ever see them the same way, just because if it's near a decade of a lie. It's too long. It's too long and it's too complicated at this point. It's just like, do I really know you at this point? Like, who are you? Like, are you just like a fabricated version of like what I thought my wife is, or do you actually have some sort of like personality that belongs to you? And are you really the person that I fell in love with? So good on him for having the patience and the empathy for that. I'm an asshole, so I would have folded and be like, no, I'm out.
Yeah, I think it's good that they're trying to figure out, okay, who are we as people? Like, as opposed to like breaking it off immediately, then finding out who they are, and then like getting back together. They're at least like trying to stick. I see both ways. You could also leave, find yourself, and end up back together again. But yeah, I don't know. I think both ways are good. It's just, what a tricky situation. Like John said, it'd be so difficult. And that's, like OP said, that's probably like a me thing, but like I would have so much difficulty trusting anything. You know what I mean? Just anything. Like, unless, it's not as exaggerate, like maybe just a few, even like 10 years,
bro. 10 years of fucking data collecting is insane.
Even if you're like 30% my ex and 70% you, it still feels like that feels strange.
It does.
It feels strange and calculated
because you were just conditioned to like, oh, I remember liking that. And anytime I get like social engineered for like the worst, not like because Juliet social engineers me sometimes, but for
you eat vegetables,
I do eat vegetables, but it's for a good cause. But for her, like, I don't see her personality. Like, where is this? Who is Bailey? Who the fuck is she really?
I hope she finds herself. She's doing the work.
I hope so too.
It sounds like she's doing the work. She deleted the account. I have a lot of hope and respect for this couple. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out the same. But a lot of kudos. It's stronger than I might be. But I don't know.
Yeah,
me too.
It's just every relationship is different. Like, if Nancy tomorrow said everything has been a lie, I'd be like, I don't know if I'd instantly divorce. I'd be like, well, some of it gotta be true, right? Some of it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm. It is tough because I can't even imagine.
Like when I'm outside of the situation, it's easy for us to for me to be like, yeah, break up all the time, break up. And then when something happens to me, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we can work it through. So I don't know. I'm kind of a bitch.
Well, it is hard with 10 years of being together and then finding out that it's like, that is a tough thing. And I think it's a good thing that they've taken a break and gone gone to separate therapists as well as a couples therapist and trying to work through that, like figuring things out if there is anything to save. I think that's probably the admirable way to go about it. This is with the caveat of she's not a dangerous person, which is always a potential.
Especially with a child involved is so tricky.
Yeah. So that is with that caveat. Not every situation will be the same, and there will be a like, I don't know if she was like violent or something like that, we would not be saying this. We would be like, absolutely, get the fuck out of there, get your child out of there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're taking the right steps, and then whatever he feels comfortable doing going forward, that's up to him, and how he's worked through it with couple therapy and his partner. So there was a couple things that were said that got to me, and this comment kind of will open me up to a broader rant. So I apologize. But Cento Par says, one sentence that really stood out for me, quote, okay, maybe I talked about my ex a lot more than I thought, end quote. I'd lay money on dude having mentionitis, little comments here and there about the ex consistently, which ended up leaving his wife feeling deeply, deeply insecure. I've been there, never went through her lengths, but it's not unimaginable. These things are never one-sided. To which I will say to that, as someone who has been through, and I don't talk about this often on the podcast, but I've talked to you guys about it, like stalker situation, someone close to me. It feels like you're justifying the stalking, which is not okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, victim blaming seems strange in this situation.
Because here's the thing. He could have been a piece of shit and been mentioning his ex a lot and making her feel insecure. But what she should have done in that situation is said, hey, shut the fuck up or go to therapy, or left him. Like it doesn't justify the stalking, because that's where it gets dangerous and scary. And someone who is not involved in the relationship is now being unknowingly pulled in and, stalked. And that is not okay. That's dangerous, and that can lead to very dangerous situations. So I'm not saying he's innocent at all in this scenario. He could have definitely, it sounded like he had a lot of trauma coming from that relationship.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What I don't understand is, why is she borrowing aspects of their relationship? I know she said borrowing good aspects of it when in the post, and again, this is a one-sided conversation.
For sure.
He said majority of the conversations he's had with his ex is about saying like, hey, how traumatic that relationship is.
Yeah.
So I still don't understand like why she's taking bits of that where it's associating that, bad relationship, even though it's like the good parts of it.
Right. And I think like she probably is just hearing him mention her name and probably in her mind, like converting that as, oh, he's thinking about her, which he probably was, not in a positive light. You know what I mean? But she doesn't maybe know that or didn't get that across. But what should have happened is she should have been like, hey, go to therapy to figure out your shit, because it sounds like you've still got trauma from your past relationship. He should have probably realized that as well and done that. And she should have been like, I have deep insecurities and I should go get that checked out as well. None of this should have resulted in stalking, because that shit's traumatic as someone who's been through it. And I know some people like say stalking, but this was like, wake up at 2 a.m., someone at your door in the middle of the night. It's fucking scary. It's fucking scary. And it's not okay to justify that side. That's not to say he's innocent or anything like that, but that's just to say, don't fucking justify the stalking part. That's crazy.
Get therapy.